So let me ask you a question. Are you driving your business, or is your business driving you? It's a question that, let's be honest, haunts pretty much every entrepreneur at some point. Welcome to This Explainer. Today we're going to break down some absolutely critical insights from Chapter 3 of Gino Wickman's book, Traction. We're zooming in specifically on the vision component of the Entrepreneurial Operating System, or EOS. Look, if you've ever felt like your company is just hitting a ceiling, or you're surrounded by chaos even though you have great people on your team, you are in the exact right place. We're going to keep this super practical so you can relieve that overwhelm and start gaining some real traction today. To really wrap our heads around why vision matters so much, the source text gives us this incredibly vivid metaphor. I want you to picture a team of short-sighted people cutting a road through a dense, unforgiving jungle. Now, they might be the absolute most productive team on planet Earth, right? Working tirelessly, day and night, swinging away. But if there's no leader who actually stops, steps back, and climbs a tree to look at where the road is going, well, that highly productive team might just be cutting a giant zigzag. All that energy, all that effort, completely wasted on going in the wrong direction.
And honestly, that brilliantly illustrates the core problem for most business owners. You are so busy swinging the machete, working in the business, that you forget to climb the tree. The source actually cites Michael Gerber's famous advice here, which is to work on the business every so often instead. Taking that wide-angle view is literally the only way to get where you want to go faster. So today, this explainer is going to give you the exact framework you need to climb that tree.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our pragmatic roadmap for today. We're looking at 1. The vision component. 2. Defining your core. 3. Setting targets. 4. Strategy and obstacles. 5. The GWC framework. And finally, 6. 5 actions you can take right now. All right, Section 1, the vision component explained. The fundamental truth of successful business owners is getting every single person in the organization to see the exact same clear image. The entrepreneurial operating system is a holistic system, but what's really interesting here is that top slice, vision. Everything else flows directly from there. Without it, you can't possibly have the right people, you won't track the right data, and you will absolutely struggle to gain any real traction. So how do we actually define that vision? Well, the source introduces what might be the ultimate tool to simplify strategic planning. It's called the Vision/Traction Organizer, or V/TO. And the beauty of this thing is that it forces you to distill your entire vision down onto just 2 pages by answering exactly 8 questions. That's it. No massive, dusty binders of corporate strategy that literally nobody reads. Just 2 highly actionable pages that get everyone on the exact same wavelength, totally eliminating the daily confusion that causes so many headaches. Moving into Section 2, defining your core. Because before you can decide where you're going, you have to know exactly who you are. The very first question on the VTO is, what are your core values? Now listen, these are not corporate buzzwords you just slap on a wall. They are a small set, ideally 3 to 7, of vital, timeless guiding principles. The key insight from the source here is that these values already exist within your company. You don't invent them, you rediscover them. And once you do, you have to use them to hire, fire, review, and reward your people. That is exactly how you build a thriving culture. To show you how powerful this is in the real world, the source shares a story about an EOS client named Image1. When they first started this process, co-owner Rob Dube actually pushed back. He argued they had this massive list of day-to-day issues to solve, and they should probably just skip this whole core value thing. But he was asked to take a leap of faith. And you know what? After just an hour of really working on it, he was completely sold. It might sound like a distraction when you're incredibly busy, but as Dube found out, it profoundly changes how you build your team. Okay, once you have your core values locked in, the second question is, what is your core focus? Think of this as your organization's absolute sweet spot. It's formed by identifying 2 truths, your reason for being, so your purpose, cause, or passion, and your specific niche. The text uses a fantastic golf analogy here. If you hit a golf ball right on the sweet spot of the club, it goes farther, straighter, and it just feels better. If your business operates strictly within its sweet spot, you're going to go farther, you'll make decisions much faster, and you'll score infinitely better on profitability.
The danger, of course, is getting distracted. The source contrasts staying in your core focus with getting sidetracked by what one leadership team calls the shiny stuff. There's a classic example from the text about a real estate management company called Broder and Socks. They got distracted by this shiny new idea and started a powder coating business called CCT. And guys, it was a complete disaster. Now, whenever a distraction pops up, they jokingly call it a CCT, and they stay laser-focused on real estate.
Which brings us to Section 3, setting your targets. With the core clearly defined, it is time to set our long-haul destination. The third question on the VCTO is, what is your 10-year target? The text connects this to what Jim Collins famously calls a BHG, a big, hairy, audacious goal. This is a larger-than-life target that gives everyone in your organization a clear, long-range direction. It needs to be specific, it needs to be measurable, and most importantly, this isn't just a dry number on a spreadsheet. It should create an absolute surge of passion and energy for your specific team every single time it's repeated. To really ground this in reality, let's look at some real-world 10-year targets from the source material. Xenocom aimed for $10 million in revenue. McKinley targeted 20,000 multifamily units owned or managed. Atlas Oil set their sights on 5 billion gallons moved. Notice how there are absolutely no gray areas here? You either hit the metric or you don't. That is what a proper, tangible 10-year target looks like for an actual company. Section 4, strategy and obstacles. We know the destination. Now we need the mechanics to reach it, and we have to anticipate what might stand in our way. Look, your marketing strategy shouldn't be a massive textbook. It's just 4 laser-focused elements. First, your target market, or the list of ideal customers. Second, your 3 uniques. These are the specific differentiators that make you stand out from the crowd. Third, your proven process for actually delivering value. And fourth, your guarantee. Nailing down these 4 elements allows your sales team to completely dial in their approach and stop wasting precious time and resources on the wrong clients. Now, let's skip ahead slightly to the 8th and final section of the VTO. It asks a really blunt question. What are your issues? Now, it might seem a little strange to put your problems on a vision document, right? But the source insists this is absolutely critical. If you don't know exactly where the roadblocks are, you can't possibly decide how to steer around them. Getting all your obstacles out of your head and onto a concrete list is a crucial part of seeing your reality clearly. All right, Section 5, the GWC People Framework. Because at the end of the day, executing this simple 2-page vision requires having the absolute right people sitting in the right seats. The source introduces a brilliant, straightforward tool for evaluating your people, the GWC Framework. It stands for Get It, Want It, and Capacity to Do It. The author shares this fascinating anecdote about sitting in a coffee shop with a client who was super frustrated because a key promotion just wasn't working out. Well, when they applied this GWC framework, they realized the problem almost instantly. The employee definitely wanted the job, but they simply lacked the capacity to do it. It was just a wrong seat mistake. So they moved the person to a suitable role, and boom, they excelled. The takeaway? If your people don't possess all 3 of those elements for their specific seat, your vision is going to stall. Section 6. 5 actions to take now. Theory is great, but the crucial point is implementing this. Let's move to a rapid-fire execution checklist. Here are the 5 specific practical lessons you must take away today to begin executing this in your company. Number 1, stop swinging the machete. Seriously, step back and schedule a 2-hour off-site meeting with your leadership team. Number 2, discover your 3 to 7 core values, chiseling away until you find the absolute truth of your culture. Number 3, define your core focus so you can confidently say no to that shiny stuff. Number 4, set a measurable 10-year target, that BHAG, to fire up your whole team. And number 5, run your current team through the GWC framework to ensure you actually have the right people in the right seats. And that brings us to one final thought. The tools are here, they are proven, and honestly, they are incredibly simple, but they aren't always easy. It requires a real commitment to stepping back. So are you ready to take the leap of faith, stop overthinking your day-to-day operations, and finally start climbing that tree? Give your team the clear vision they desperately need, and watch your business finally gain the traction you've been looking for.